Are you too old to run fast again? Well, here's the truth, right? I've worked with runners in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, and a lot of them wonder if it's too late to run fast again or that if they have knee pain, they should hang up their running shoes. I'm Dr. Peralta, physical therapist and run coach. And over the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of runners, many in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, not only run pain free again, but hit PRs they never thought possible. In this video, I'm going to debunk 3 major myths that stop older runners from making progress. If you ever thought, my arthritis means I should stop running, or I'm just too old to run fast, or I don't have time to train like I used to, then this video is going to reframe everything. Okay, and if you're looking for additional guidance and support, I do have an additional free training. You can check out the link in the description that shows how to run pain-free. So anyhow, let's get started. Myth number 1, I have to stop running because of arthritis, right? Maybe you have arthritis in your hips or your knees, right? Another common belief is running caused my arthritis. I must have overused my joints from all the years running. However, studies show that recreational runners have lower rates of arthritis, osteoarthritis, than sedentary people or very elite competitive runners, right? So recreational running is protective for the joints. A study here from Alan Torn, 2017. You can check that out. That recreational running can actually help protect your joints, so you can build it up, especially if it's done in a smart fashion. Chakravarty, 2008, showed no difference in osteoarthritis rates between long-distance runners and non-runners, like the people who just don't run at all, sit on the couch all day, compared to, or not that they sit, but maybe they just do normal day-to-day activity, but they're not running compared to long-distance runner. There's really no big difference in their arthritis. But interesting, going back to the 2017 study, those who actually sat on a couch all day and didn't do any activity had a higher rate of arthritis than the recreational runner who just ran a few times a week, which is pretty interesting because it looks like they're not building up their bone density, because some amount of running can actually help build up. But if you do too much, if you're not doing the smart training, right, then yes, you can cause injuries to yourself, but there is a smart way to train. See, most older runners don't slow down because of arthritis. They slow down because of deconditioning and not doing enough proper strength training, right? They're not following smart training principles, right? When you run, you can't just run alone. You have to run and also do mobility work and strength training work. So the solution is to do strength training at least 2 times per week, use moderate to heavy weights, and train to fatigue, right? You can do a single set to failure muscle fatigue routine and do that 2 times per week doing full body, and you'll get the proper strength training you need so you can continue to run as you get older. So I've coached 60-plus-year-old runners who returned to running, and even some of them who ran 5Ks in under 25 minutes by following a smart strength training and running plan, right? Doing a running plan that suits their body, where they're not being overly fatigued from running, wearing themselves down, doing this. I like the 80-20 approach to running, where 80% of your runs are easy and 20% are hard. I even had clients, who had like severe knee arthritis, avoid surgery using targeted McKenzie-based exercises. Actually, a study in Rosedale, 2014, that showed that they were able to get knee pain relief in just as little as 2 weeks, right? And these effects even lasted 3 months later. And obviously, if you keep up with the exercise routine, you stay consistent with it, you can continue to run as you get older, as you age, despite having arthritis on like an imaging or going to a doctor saying that you have arthritis in your knees. And even as a physical therapist, I've seen this countless times where I'm able to help people with arthritis avoid surgery and continue to run with a smart training plan of strength training and smart running programming. Myth number 2, I'm too old to start running or keep running. So, a lot of times people think I'm just too old, right? They probably got this belief that as I get old, I just have to slow down. If I keep going fast, it's just going to be dangerous, it's going to be risky, or I don't have it in me to run fast. All right. So the average marathon runner is about 40 years old. However, Janine Rice, 77-year-old woman, she has world record and ran a marathon in 3 hours and 33 minutes, averaging about 808 minute per mile. Her VO2 max is comparable to elite athletes half her age, right? Because when you do running the smart way, actually decrease your biological age. So even though you have a chronological age, right? You were born in, 1960s or something. That being said, if you continue to train the right way, you can actually decrease your biological age. You're actually improving your aerobic and cardio fitness, so your circulation works like someone who's half your age, right? So you're never too old with the right buildup. Even new runners can safely train and race. You can even run fast as you get older. You just have to do, again, smart training. So one of my clients in her 50s started from complete scratch. She could barely run. She was having a hard time just doing a 12-minute per mile pace, but we focused on doing run walk intervals, right? Speed training, tempo runs, strength training, right? We make sure she was able to walk comfortably first, right? Following the run walk strategy, then going to run walk. And then she finished her first half marathon in under 2 hours without injury, right? And so it's possible to improve your running speed and even run faster, even hit PRs for your age. You could actually, like Janine Rice did, win your age group, right? It requires intelligent training and dedication to the craft, making sure your recovery's dialed in, strength training dials in, a smart running plan, and even nutrition. All these things go into play as you get older, and especially if you want to run fast, right? Now, if you don't care about all that, maybe you're not really serious about running. But if you're serious about running, you're gonna try to optimize for these things, and then yes, you can actually run those 8-minute per mile paces as you get older, right? You don't have to think that you just have to go very slow and only do the 12-minute per mile paces. All right, and there's a time and place to go slow and a time and place to go fast. And again, when you do an 80-20 approach, again, 80% easy and 20% hard, then you can actually go on some of those runs and actually race pretty competitively, even though you're an older master's level runner. Myth number 3, I don't have time to run, right? A lot of times people think that they don't want to run, or they think they just don't have time to run. Like, oh, I don't want to do a marathon. I just don't have enough time for it. Or I don't even want to take up running. Like maybe they used to run in the past and now they're too busy. Maybe they have a family to support and things. They think that running requires you have to run 6 days a week. The thing is, you can make real gains with running just 3 days a week, right? So the American College of Sports Medicine has recommendations for physical activity guidelines. So typically, if you just want general fitness, it's just 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise. And that could be a combination of walking and running, right? You could walk some days and run some days, right? You could run 3 days of the week and then walk 2 days of the week, or vice versa, right? Or vigorous exercise, which is 75 minutes per week. So that would be, doing 25-minute workout just 3 days a week versus 30-minute workouts 5 days a week, right? So there's many ways to get just general fitness. And you can even train for a marathon running 3 days a week, right? Here's a minimalist marathon training plan. So day 1 would be like a speed or track workout, maybe do repeat 400 or 1 kilometer repeats. Do that for 15 to 30 minutes, right? Work on your speed. Day 2, you could do a tempo run, right? That's zone 3, 30 to 45 minutes. And then day 3, a long run, maybe hour and a half, 2-3 hours, depending on your fitness levels and whatnot. And you could do a long run. And then you could just do 3 days a week of running. And then you add 2 days of cross training days, maybe high brisk walking, biking, rowing, elliptical, swimming. And then there you go. You get a minimalist marathon plan with just 3 days of running and just 2 days of cross training. And then strength training doesn't even have to be long either, right? Just 15 to 20 minutes, 2 times a week. Full body tub fatigue with monitor heavy weights, 8 to 12 RM, repetition max. And then you get your full solid training plan. So I've had runners who fit in during their lunch break, right? They cleaned up in the bathroom with wet wipes and body wipes, or brought a towel to like towel off and things to change of clothes. I've even had, I remember a client who I was working with, a single mom that she was busy working now to raise some kids, thought she had no time. But after looking at her phone screen, she was doing every like 30 minutes in the morning, like going on her phone. She was on her phone first thing in the morning every single day. Then we started swapping out those 30 minutes of phone time to a 30-minute of like, training, whether it's a run workout or run walk, strength training. And then she was able to okay, finally she magically found the time, is because she was just spending so much time on her phone just first thing in the morning. And she was even using her phone late at night in the evening. So we just swapped out those phone times for like workout time. And then in the evening, she was doing like a mobility and stretch routine. And then the other thing is to prioritize sleep. So example, if you want to wake up at 5 a.m., it's possible. It doesn't require crazy willpower. People are like, oh my God, you're so disciplined to wake up at 5 a.m. You just need to go to sleep. Well, by 9 or 10 p.m., you'll get 7 to 8 hours of sleep if you just go to sleep early. Right? The problem is people like to stay up late. And again, either there's binge watching TV, etc., or doom scrolling social media, doom scrolling on their phone, whatever apps. And by just taking out the electronics, right, taking away the screen time, you're able to magically go to sleep on time and then wake up and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And then you could get your workout in first thing in the morning. So if you're older, wanting to run pain-free without guessing what to do, again, check out the link in the description for my free training video that kind of breaks down my method for helping runners get pain-free. So to recap, we covered these three common beliefs, right? One, you have to stop because of arthritis. Again, false. Smart training with running and strength training is the key to overcome that. Your another belief, false belief, is I'm told to start running. Again, smart prep makes running safe at any age. Again, you could be almost 80. Actually, I think the world's oldest marathoner is 100 years old. So you could keep running to as long as you live. I don't have time. You only need like 3 days per week of running to just even meet the American College Sports Medicine recommendation. For, even if you did the vigorous, if you ran a little faster, just 25 minutes, 3 days a week would get you 75 minutes of vigorous activity, and then 30 minutes 5 days a week. You could do a combination of run walk, would get you the 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise. So if you found this useful, you could hit like or subscribe, or even leave a comment. Anyways. Take care, runner friends.